Most free editing software comes with an option to add a crossfade or cross dissolve to every single edit in your timeline. This wouldn't bother me quite as much if inexperienced editors didn't already overuse the crossfade to cover bad edits. So I thought I'd take a moment to share with you guys a little bit about what a crossfade is and when we should use it. We should not use crossfades to cover up an edit that just doesn't feel right. There's something wrong with the edit if it doesn't feel right, so figure out what that is and correct it. It's probably that the shots are too similar and you really shouldn't put them together. Adding a crossfade while that masks it doesn't actually help, because there's only one reason to use a cross dissolve, and that is to show passage of time. A crossfade or cross dissolve moves from one moment slowly into the next, which shows the audience that something is transpiring between these two events, these two moments. So every time I watch a movie with a cross dissolve between every single edit, it really bothers me because it's telling me that stuff is transpiring between these two moments when clearly nothing's supposed to have happened between those two moments. So when you use a cross dissolve or crossfade, make certain it is because you are telling your audience that the scene is progressing to a future point in time. That is the only reason to use a cross dissolve in your productions. Okay, that's overstating it slightly, but the point remains. Cross dissolves, crossfades show passage of time, and that's when you should use them, not to cover an edit that isn't very good. So for this video, I had used cross dissolves to show me in different positions on the couch. Smash cutting between each of those different positions would have worked as well, but you wouldn't have felt as if as much time had passed. So adding those crossfades slows everything down and adds time between your edits. For my passage of time cityscape, I took a photo I had taken on the top of a building and then started adding elements to it. Each of those I put on a different layer in GIMP so that I could turn them on and off as I built up my image. Then I saved each image as its own individual JPEG and dropped it into the timeline with a crossfade. My biggest disappointment, aside from not being very good at GIMP and so it doesn't look all that awesome, is that I added a little building just in the background very early on and wasn't very noticeable. The crossfade was too subtle, especially with your eye taking in everything else. So I guess there's another lesson in that. If you want to show passage of time, it can't be so subtle that people don't know what's changing. For instance, if I had spent a little more time on my couch shot, I probably should have changed my shirt between each shot so that it would look like more time had passed.